So I'm going to take you through the first painting that I did. Um, it was this one here is for he loves the sea, he loves to swim. I actually just wanted to paint this, so I thought, if I didn't go ahead with the whole book, then I would still have this painting. It was quite a nice photograph. You can see here I've gridded the photograph on a graphics program, and I've sampled a few colors to see what paint palette I would need. And the grid's just so I know where things are on the paint. So here's me starting to paint. So I'm actually measuring out my canvas the same way my grid is on the photograph. So I'm actually marking out those same spots and just starting to do the first layer here. So all painting's all done just in layers. First layer, you're just putting down sort of the main colors. It's never going to, well, in my experience, it's never going to look great. But you're just getting the main background colors there. I've picked these out on the palette. So you can see I'm doing the green there for the trees, and that's going to be the sun shining through. So really what you're looking for in the background there. Just layering up here, doing different, starting on the trees and up there. So because the paint has to dry, what I usually do is I move around the paint, and I'll use the same sort of colours in different parts of the painting. So I let one section dry whilst I'm moving on there. And it means you can use the same colour sort of in different parts of your painting. And so just adding more and more layers, and more layers you add, more realistic it becomes. Let's see, just a bit more in the river there. So you're sort of you're better doing the highlights. You don't really want to, like black's a real dangerous color, so it is really like move throughout the painting. So you're better sort of going from a lighter to a dark rather than from dark to light, I find. I've obviously taken a break here somewhere, and so every second here is a minute of the painting. So the paintings usually take me about. So when I'm doing the leaves there, the paintings take me usually about maybe 10 hours, something like that. So I've swapped it on brush there, and just painting individual leaves. The more detail you put in, the better it's going to become. And you can see I've added a few shadows there, things like that. You can see the reflection in the water there is a bit green. So it is. So sometimes you add a bit more, and I think it was maybe better a wee while ago. So you're having to go back and forth. I think I'm probably a bit happy with that there now. So, shadow in there of the overhang of the trees. Just a bit more detail there. And I'm not too sure if I'm close to adding in the dog at the minute. So just concentrate on the background. And here, I think this is where I'm going to be adding in Buddy the dog. Doing the actual, doing this can take quite a long time. On the smaller pieces, just can be quite hard. You're trying to get the water around them and things like that. And there's the trees, and just sort of doing a bit finishing touches. I like the way I finish a painting is, you get to the point where if you do anything more, it could make it worse. And that's if I get to that point, that's me finished. So this here is the finished painting, which will be photographed, go into the book. And so here's how it's presented in the book. So that's a double cover. So that's about it. So I'll see you in the next video. Cover the next page, the next painting we'll be doing. Thanks, cheers.